Before Mellow7 was a platform, it was a problem. I want to take a few minutes today to tell you the real story behind why Mellow7 exists, because I think it is a story that every landlord will recognize. Our founders were not software entrepreneurs looking for a startup idea. They were landlords, with real properties, dealing with real problems. They owned rental properties. They knew what it felt like to be woken up at 2 in the morning by a maintenance emergency. They knew what it felt like to have a tenant ghost rent payments for 2 months before finally confronting the situation. They knew what it felt like to walk into a property after a tenant moved out and find damage that the security deposit barely touched. And they knew what it felt like to spend a Saturday afternoon that was supposed to be time with their family, instead negotiating with a contractor over a repair bill that had tripled from the original estimate. Sound familiar? For years, the founding team managed properties the way most independent landlords do, with spreadsheets, personal phones, and an informal network of contractors and property managers. It worked, sort of, in the way that something always kind of works until it catastrophically does not. The breaking point came when the portfolio grew. What had been manageable with 5 units became genuinely unmanageable at 12. The systems, or lack of systems, that had held things together at a small scale started to buckle. Maintenance requests were being missed. Rent collection was inconsistent. Lease renewals were being handled late. Financial reporting was a mess. And the time cost of managing. All of this was eating into any real sense of the investment being passive. So the founding team did what any problem solver would do. They looked at the market and asked, what tools are available to solve this? And what they found was deeply disappointing. The enterprise-level property management software was built for large property management companies. Massive, complex, expensive, and completely overkill for an independent landlord managing 10 to 20 units. The consumer apps were too light. They handled rent collection or basic communication, but offered nothing close to the comprehensive management infrastructure that a serious landlord needs. And nothing combined the intelligence of an enterprise platform with the simplicity and affordability that independent landlords actually need. So they built it themselves. The first version of Mellow7 was built to manage their own properties. It was born out of frustration and necessity, not a business plan. But as soon as they started sharing it with other landlords in their network, something extraordinary happened. Every landlord who saw it had the same reaction.
Where has this been? This is exactly what I need.
That moment confirmed everything. The founding team was not alone in this problem. Independent landlords across the United States and Canada were all living with the same gap. The gap between what was available to manage rental properties and what was actually needed to do it professionally and profitably. Mellow7 was the bridge across that gap. Today, Mellow7 serves landlords in markets from coast to coast, from New York to Los Angeles, from Toronto to Vancouver, from the Sunbelt suburbs to the urban cores. Landlords who own 1 unit and landlords who own 100. And every single feature in the platform, every workflow, every dashboard, every automation was built from a real problem that our founding team faced in the field. That is not something you can design from a whiteboard. That is something you earn through experience. So when you use Mellow7, you are not just using software. You are using the distilled experience of landlords who have been exactly where you are and who built the exact tools they wish they had always had. That is the Mellow7 story. And if it resonates with you, if you recognize yourself in any part of what I just described, then I would love to show you what our platform can do for your properties. Visit mellow7.com, explore the platform, book a demo, and see for yourself why landlords who find Mellow7 almost always say the same thing.